Hey, I think there's a lot of different activities out there. One of the things that I do is I really try and work outside of the box. Traditionally, especially in math, we think that math has to be assessed with a pencil on paper through a test, through a concept check, whatever. And there's lots of different ways that we can really assess math. Whether that's through a thinking task type of activity where you have students working together up on the board. Menu math tasks are one of my favorite. A menu math is where they're given kind of a scenario, and then they're given kind of 10-ish qualities, and then they have to create whatever it happens to be that will fit as many of those qualities as possible, creating the fewest number of things um, that fit all of them. Um, Another one that just using explanation, right? Like students have to do, but then tell me what you're actually doing. Why does this work? One of the things I've started doing is setting up targets for all of my classes. So everything is structured. There's four different levels. There's the beginning or building readiness targets, which are kind of like your prerequisite skills. There's a explore, practice, learn target that are looking at more the steps for learning. So doing things in isolation. So if it's factoring, right? So just how do we factor by GCF? How do we factor by difference of squares? There's your proficiency targets, which is kind of where you're aiming for as a general whole picture, which is starting to put some things together, and students have a good understanding. And then the last tier, the last section of targets would be our extension targets. Extension not in terms of going above and beyond, but extension as in going deeper. And these ones also allow students to show that they actually know what they're doing. So whether it's an explanation, whether it's a harder type of question. In factoring, I will often do a question like, okay, if you can factor x squared plus kx plus 6, what could k be? So then they have to know how that actually works, how those numbers break down, and then to be able to explain it as well. That's not a question where they can just mimic, like they have to actually know what they're doing.